Hey everybody, and welcome back to Char Grad School. So far I talked about deciding if grad school is a yes for you and how to narrow down your top 5. Next I talked about things to consider when prepping for the GRE, so study tips and study tools that I had to do well and get into your program. But I forgot to mention that there are different tests, GRE tests, based on the type of program you want to go into. So go to the GRE website, the ets.org website, and find out if the test matches up to the program you're trying to get into. So be mindful of that. Today is all about ways to fund grad school. And that's also a big factor when deciding if you want to go, is if you're going to be able to live and afford this program. And so there are 4 major ways to paying for graduate school. First, there's assistantships. Second, there are fellowships. Third, there are grants. And then fourth, there are loans. So there are 4 major ways for paying for graduate school, but it is important for you to consider that you won't have the same age you got in undergrad, because the government considers you an independent once you get to graduate school. So you won't have access to those same loans, you won't have access to those same scholarships, but there are still loan options available. So the first one is assistantships. And so how that works is you have to find that yourself. So you go seek out your school, you go seek out your program, you call them, you email them, do whatever you can to get that initial contact. And so you find it yourself, but the primary goal, the primary purpose of assistantship is to work 10 to 20 hours a week on a course. And so you TA a class and you help out with the writing of tests or the writing of different assignments for the course. You're basically an aide to the teacher, and you get paid a stipend for that amount, but that for your semester or for that academic year, but it's all based on the type of program. It's also important to note that the money you get will be taxed, so it won't be the base amount, let's say $5,000 that you might get per academic year. That money is going to be split per semester, and it's going to be taxed by the government, so be aware for that. Also, in addition to your stipend every month, you'll get a tuition waiver, and so that will cover the cost of your tuition. But there are also fees that go along with your schooling, so it might appear to be free, but it's not really free because there are still fees you need to pay. So technology fees, course fees, all of that, and that all adds up. So right now for me, I have about $1,500 in course fees, technology fees, and that's not including my tuition cost. So thankfully I had that tuition waiver, but I still have to pay $1,500 out of pocket. With your assistantship comes health insurance and other type of insurance packages, but they all vary by your school. So look into that and see how much it will cover, see how much you will get, because all this goes into play when deciding if you're able to live and afford where you're going to be studying at. The second option is a research assistantship. So it's not like a teaching assistantship, but you're pretty much doing you're going to get paid through the grant from the faculty member you work with, or you're going to be paid through your institution. But the funds are also used to help aid your education. So it's a little bit different, but the goal is that you're doing research with the faculty member and you're getting paid for that, and that's how you afford your living expenses, and that's how you afford to work and do things that you need to get done to survive while you're studying. The next method will be a fellowship. And so there are 2 types of fellowships. You have internal that are provided by your school, provided by your program, and there are certain requirements. So again, the only way for you to find out is if you pick up a phone and you call and say, hey, do you have any internal fellowships that students can apply for? Talk about your area. So if you're a minority, if you're LGBTQ, if you have a disability, talk that up and see if they have anything for your specific group. So check by department and read things carefully, because again, it might be there, you just have to look into it. Another thing that goes into getting a fellowship is to build a relationship with faculty. Get to know people in that program and say, hey, I know you're working on this, I know you're researching this, may I join your team? And then find out if there's funding opportunities through that. External fellowships are through brands and companies that help sponsor the student's education. So I know Ford has some, government agencies might have some, but your school itself might also have programs. So again, call, find out, look online, search the web, and apply. The third type of funding is called grants. And so basically it's free money. It's like a scholarship, but it could come from a variety of sources, and it could be either catered to your specific area or towards your research. But you have to go out and you have to dig for those. I wish I had more on how to find grants, but this is another way. So just search grants for, let's say, STEM, grants for biology. Try to find programs that are specific to your area. The last funding option is loans. But the thing about grad students when it comes to loans and things like that is you're considered an independent. So there's no official aid through FAFSA, but you can check through your university's financial aid office to find out what loans are available for your program. But also check out the Grad Plus loan that's also available for grad students, or the Parent Plus loan too, that can help pay for school. But of course with loans you have to pay it back. Again, this is a quick video to kind of get your wheels turning on ways to pay for graduate school. Again, I'm no expert, but I want this to be a resource for you. And if I missed something or I didn't include anything, please share your knowledge. If you know any grants, if you know any assistantships, please drop it in the comment section. We want to help each other because, again, I'm doing this for you to just make it possible for you. So if you know anything, please share it. And ask any questions. Please follow up with questions, follow up with ideas, because I want grad school to be a possibility for you. So let me know, and I'll see you next video.